Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation today. I'm Adrian Banu. I'm the UNODC program coordinator for the anti-corruption program in Haiti, and at the same time, the global lead on emerging technologies and anti-corruption. One second. Yes, so I would start my presentation today with one question. Is AI the biggest corruption risk that we have ever had in history, in the history of humanity? And I'm going to try to answer this question today. Why I'm asking this? Because at the moment, AI is the fastest growing technology that we have ever seen in history. And just to offer you a comparison, you have on the screen some of the most disruptive technology that human history has ever seen. We have the telephone that needed to reach 50 years for reaching 50 million users. We have electricity that needed 46 years to reach 50 million users. Internet, 100 million users in 7 years. Cryptocurrencies, 100 million users in 11 years. And AI, artificial intelligence, in the form that we know today, that has been launched by ChatGPT, needed only 2 months to reach 100 million users. The challenge is that while earlier technologies changed our life, all the new technologies, emerging technologies, can completely change together, and not only artificial intelligence, but also distributed ledger technologies, distributed computing can change the way we govern. They can change the way we trust. They can change power dynamics. They can change completely even corruption, the way we know it today. So the real question is, will AI become the greatest corruption risk in history, or if guided responsibly, if developed safely and with ethics, will become our most powerful ally against it, and not only for actually combating corruption, but for the good of the humanity. As I was mentioning already, at UNODC, we don't look only at artificial intelligence, because we strongly believe that artificial intelligence needs to be addressed, needs to be taken into consideration, together with other disruptive technologies, with other emerging technologies. And here we mention distributed ledger technologies, blockchain, which comes with a series of a new asset class, that is cryptocurrencies, virtual assets, NFTs, and much more. A new type of doing finance, decentralized finance, etc. We talk about distributed computing systems. And for trying to understand better the risks of these technologies, the risks that these technologies come with, but also the opportunities that these technologies can bring to fighting criminality, fighting corruption, good governance, ethics, transparency. We are at the moment drafting a paper called the Nexus between cybercrime and corruption. Where we have managed to map what's going on around the world with these technologies, how these technologies are being used for criminality, but also how they are being used for the good and for combating corruption and good governance. And while the paper is not yet out, it's going to be out in the upcoming months. I will be able to give you some highlights. We are time limited, so I'm just going to give you a few examples of what we've managed to map. And some of them might sound public knowledge, but we managed to document them and to be able to say that this is actually happening and it's being used. It's not a matter of probability, it's not a matter of assumption, but it's something that is being used at the moment. So one is that AI is already being used to generate fake contracts, fake identities, fake videos that can be used to bribe, blackmail, mislead. Deepfakes and AI-driven scams are present and can undermine trust in public officials, in elections, in institutions, and we've seen that already in multiple countries around the world. AI can already generate identities and automate cryptocurrencies accounts creation, replacing human money mules and accelerating laundering networks. A connected risk that we have identified that is not emerging technologies necessarily direct, but it's indirect, corrupt insiders, those within government, banks, companies, can be bribed to use digital system to erase evidence or grant access to criminals. At the same time, cryptocurrencies and decentralized finance could be used by corrupt actors to launder money instantly across borders using mixers, privacy coins. We've seen this multiple times already to cover their tracks. Or, speaking about cryptocurrencies, a bribe can be given in a huge amount, like we take an example, $1 billion can be passed over to someone without leaving any trace, just by passing the seed phrase, which is the key that gives you access to a crypto wallet. Giving a $1 billion bribe previously would have been almost impossible, either in cash or even more difficult through the traditional banking system. So this poses an additional layer of difficulty in investigating these kinds of crimes. Also, we have managed to map the fact that where governance is weak, we see scam centers, online casinos, and even human trafficking operations thriving with the protection of corrupt officials for laundering proceeds of crimes that are coming out of cybercriminality and for which it's being used the methods that I have previously mentioned. So to conclude, the risk is not just technical, it is systemic. It is about how corruption and cybercrime reinforce each other, creating a vicious cycle that undermines institutions and public trust. And while this corruption, these crimes that I'm mentioning here are not new, new modalities are being invented every day, and we need to adapt and be ready to counter them. But it's not only about the risks, it's not only about the challenges that we face, but all these technologies come with huge potential to help us fight criminality, corruption, financial flows. And the previous speakers, I won't insist too much on this, have already mentioned this. Artificial intelligence can help investigators detect suspicious patterns in financial transactions, procurement process, etc. A challenge that I would like to raise, it's the data protection. As the previous speakers mentioned, we don't know what's behind the models. We don't know, and this is something that even the big companies declare, that sometimes they create the code and they need time to understand what the model is capable of. So not even those that create the models are fully aware of what the model they create today is going to be able to produce in 6 months. So here, I think when we speak about investigations, it's essential for law enforcement to start thinking, developing their locally run models and not rely on closed source models that are currently available on the market. Blockchain, distributed ledger technology, gives us tamper-proof records. Every transaction is transparent, verifiable, permanent, immutable. It cannot be erased. This is a revolution for asset recovery, public procurement, and many others. Distributed computing makes data harder to manipulate or erase because it's replicated across many secure nodes. This protects the integrity of evidence and ensures that once corruption is exposed, it cannot simply be deleted. So combined all these tools, I insist on this, I think that combined, this can give us probably the most powerful weapon that law enforcement ever had in history. Another aspect that is very important in using these emerging technologies that can help us prevent corruption is how we deploy this kind of use cases for governance, how we can support governments to implement these tools together in governance, to improve governance systems, to increase integrity, to increase transparency. So just again, quick examples of use cases, but here maybe even more, the use cases are really unlimited. Imagine public procurement systems that are being run on blockchain. Every contract, every payment, every amendment is permanently recorded and verifiable by citizens and auditors. Think about distributed computing. By replicating sensitive records across multiple secure nodes, no single insider can erase or alter them without detection. This creates resilience and accountability even in the most fragile environments. And artificial intelligence, again, I insist on this, deployed ethically, developed safely, it can provide real-time alerts of conflict of interest, detect irregularities, etc. So together, blockchain, DLT, distributed computing AI, can hardwire transparency into governance system, reinforce ethics in decision making, and rebuild trust between governments and citizens. Just to mention three of our priorities. Of course, there are multiple things that are important, but we think that these are three main areas that are worth looking very carefully at. One is urgent regulation for all these emerging technologies. For what concerns blockchain, digital assets, we start seeing regulations around the world, but we need, of course, coordinated efforts among nations to have as possible uniformized regulations for international cooperation, because these are assets that are borderless, and also for AI, how we develop AI safely. As I mentioned, AI is the fastest growing technology in our history. We actually don't know. We know today. We see these models. It's cute. We talk to them. They give us fantastic results. They help us in a lot of things, but we don't actually know into what this can develop at some point. There are a lot of dystopian discussions at the moment that AI can at some point take over. This might be dystopic now, but if it's a 1% probability that this is actually real, we need to be careful of how we develop this language model that we call artificial intelligence today. AI-powered investigations, this is huge potential, and I think the best way forward is for law enforcement to develop their agentic solution, to develop their AI agents internally, run locally, and not on closed source available. And the third, the use of emerging technologies, DLT, distributed computing, AI for good governance. How we enforce at UNODC all this. Speaking about the regions, we have two hubs in the region. One in Mexico City and another one in Bogota that support with technical assistance. We have all range of technical experts that are based close to the countries that we are supporting. Of course, with the support of HQ in Vienna. Also, we have national programs as the one that I am coordinating in Haiti, to convene regional exchanges, facilitate bilateral cooperation, and also provide technical assistance according to the needs of the countries. Also, it's important to mention how we deliver globally as a strategic approach. We have multiple platforms where we bring countries from different regions. In these particular regions in the Americas, we have Central America, Caribbean, and South America, and Mexico, where we bring countries together in order for them to share more easily their technical expertise, to support each other, to exchange information for international investigations. And all these platforms at the moment in the Americas have as a cross-cutting priority new technologies and AI, and we are looking forward to support the states in adopting these technologies. And I would like to leave you with this conclusion. Speaking about developing AI safely, speaking about developing AI with integrity, we think that it's a lot discussed these days how we can build AI safely, and there is no conclusion. Even from the biggest companies, there is no actual conclusion. What we would like to propose, and we think that it's a solution worth looking into, is for taking care that AI is being developed under control, to combine artificial intelligence. So the solution could be AI itself, but just combined with the right safeguards that can be represented by distributed computing, blockchain, distributed computing and distributed ledger technology, blockchain. Because AI on its own can deceive, but AI anchored in immutable ledgers and resilient computing can empower and can be developed safely. It's an idea that is worth exploring as a possible solution for developing AI safely. So the real question, and I'm going to conclude with this, I'm going to leave you with this question, is not whether AI is the biggest corruption risk in history. I think the real question is whether we'll choose We will choose to combine AI with the right safeguards to make it our strongest ally against corruption and in general for the good of the humanity. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Muchísimas gracias a nuestro panelista Adrián Banu, experto de la Oficina de las Naciones Unidas contra la Droga y el Delito UNODC. La verdad que el reto que nos ha lanzado a este comité que es sumamente potente. Si vamos realmente a utilizar, ya es una realidad, o sea, la inteligencia artificial está acá. Entonces, la gran pregunta no es si nos vamos a dejar robar, o sea, la gran pregunta es cómo vamos a utilizar o si vamos a utilizar la inteligencia artificial con la seguridad e integridad que tenemos que garantizar. Y bueno, como nos ha planteado acá nuestro experto invitado, esa combinación entre inteligencia, computación distribuida y bueno, el blockchain también, poder servir de ese modelo de seguridad e integridad necesario. Muy interesante porque tenemos todo un mundo para poder combatir justamente la corrupción, identificando esos riesgos sistémicos en ese análisis masivo de información. Así que realmente es importante también tomar en cuenta y por eso es bueno este espacio donde están todos los representantes, expertos y expertas de la Organización de Estados Americanos, los miembros, Estados miembros de la Organización de Estados Americanos, porque también hay un punto importante que es el tema de regulación, que tenemos nosotros que también continuar impulsando desde nuestros diferentes estados. Regulación necesaria para todas las tecnologías emergentes, incluyendo la IA, y también el tema de las que mencionó, de potenciar de esta manera entonces la investigación de la criminalidad con inteligencia artificial, obviamente sin olvidar lo que nos mencionó de seguridad e integridad. Muchísimas gracias por su participación, muchísimas gracias por todas estas ideas y por el gran reto que le ha dejado en la sala de hoy.